Hi, Adrienne from Happy Hour Projects here, and today we are going to work on the classic charm bracelet. I get people that say all the time, oh, you make it look so easy, or I wish I could make handmade jewelry. Well, the thing is if nobody has ever shown you how to use the tools, it can look intimidating. So I'm here today to make it look a little bit simpler. I'm going to show you the tools, I'm going to show you the findings, I'm going to show you the techniques, and once you start making charms, you're going to add them to all your jewelry projects. Come on, let's go get started. Alright, I'd like to give you a quick tour of what we're going to use today, and then we'll get to work. Obviously your beads. Now I want to talk just quickly about what kind of beads I'm using today. Honestly, I'm using a little bit of everything. I've got like a big, it's kind of like a value pack of assorted beads here. I like these because you get a lot of different textures, a lot of different finishes, a lot of different variations on the same color. I'm going with a purple scheme, obviously you can see today. It's a nice purchase that you can make so that you only have to buy one pack or one container of beads if you have to make a purchase. So I would say that's the way to go. Another thing that you can do, especially if you're going to kind of make this into a girls' night, if everybody brings one kind of bead, then everybody can kind of make the same kind of charm, and then everybody can exchange at the end of the night. So that makes for a fun keepsake, and it helps you to mix things up while keeping the cost down. Otherwise, you could really get into this for a lot of different kind of beads, just because with the charm bracelets, it's nice to have variety. Like I mentioned, we've got the different finishes, textures, colors. You're going to need a charm bracelet. Now, the kind of clasp on it is totally up to you. I've got one that's got a lobster clasp here just because that's my preference. It's a little bit more secure, but if you like the kind with the toggle, that's totally fine. There's really no rules here. The only thing you want to make sure is that the links are big enough that you'll be able to fit jump rings in them later, and I'll show you what we're going to do when we do that. Set that aside, we don't quite need that yet. Now, I mentioned the big beads, but we've also got little beads. These are, I've got some 4mm sizes, and I've got some seed beads, a size 6/0 and some 11/0s here, and they're all in the kind of the purple range. And what these are going to do is act as stoppers, and they're going to kind of set off our focal beads. I've got 2-inch head pins. I find 2-inch to be a nice size. You can certainly get 3 inches. I would not get 1-inch head pins for a charm bracelet, just because I think that's too short. So 2 inch is really the smallest that you want to go with. And basically what they are is it's a pin, and then this head it's got a flat stopper there at the end, so that'll hold your beads on. I mentioned the jump rings. I'm using a size 7mm. I think that's nice for movement on your charm bracelet a little bit later, so that's not critical, but that's a good size. 7mm is a pretty good size. And I'm going to slide those out of the way just so that we've got room to work here. Now, your tools. The biggest tool that you're going to use today is the round nose pliers, and what you're going to be doing with this is you're going to be forming all of the loops on your charms, and I'll show you how that works in just a minute. What you're also going to be needing is your wire cutters. These will just nip off those excess ends, and you won't use your regular jewelry pliers quite as much. They're going to help you in wire wrapping, so that'll be kind of like some assistance there, and it'll also help you tuck in any loose ends, but this will be really your secondary tools today. So let's just jump right in. Now, I mentioned that these are kind of going to be the stoppers, the smaller beads. You can just thread those on, and the head will keep it secure. And what you don't want is on some of these larger beads, especially if you're using bigger beads, sometimes they won't always hold. Like you can see this one, it's going to come right through. I don't know if you can quite tell, but this is not going to be secure. So that is why you want a different kind of a stopper bead to keep it from going anywhere. So I'm just going to, at random, I'm going to pick a little sparkly here. I'm going to put a round one on. And I'm just going to set it off with another sparkly. You don't have to do it that way. I tend to make mine very kind of even. That's just my personality when I'm working with this. But you can really come up with any pattern that you like. That's like the brilliance of charms. Now, you saw me get to work here without to explain what I'm doing. I'm just on autopilot. I'm so used to doing these. You want to get your round nose pliers. Do a little bend here, very close to the top bead. You want to leave a little bit of a gap, just a couple millimeters there, because we're going to be doing some wire wrapping there. But what you want to do is just bend it over and then loop that top around. You're going to loop it around the round part of your pliers here. So what we're doing is we're creating this loop. You want to keep going all the way so that there is a full loop there. Now this tail end, if it's not long enough for you, you may need to use your jewelry pliers to help you with this. But what I'm going to do here is just wrap it around, kind of make like a little, like a neck here at the bottom of your loop. And you want to wrap it around. There's not any rule as to how many times you got to wrap it. I usually do 2 or 3 times. It's just enough to fill that gap that you left. So what we've got now, there's a loop at the top and there's some wire wraps, and you've got this tail end. So we're going to cut this tail end off. And then at this point you may need to use your pliers just to tighten that little edge down. And you've got your first charm. So there are a lot of different things that you can do as far as designs. Do another one real quick here. Let's see. And the key is to kind of make them all different if you can, or if you like. I mean, I suppose you could make them all the same. Just depends on what you like the look of. Dropped one there. So what we're doing is we're going to take it around our pliers, we're going to tip it back, loop it over the pliers to make our loop, come around, got this little neck here, and you want to fill that gap with wire wrapping. So yeah, so this is a basic wire wrapping. Trim off that excess. Hold these pliers back and just tighten that on. I'm going to make a few more charms here off camera. I don't know that you necessarily need to watch me do that. And then we'll skip back to how to attach them in just a minute here. Alright, now if you're just watching for technique, then we're ready to move on here. If you're crafting along with me and you're making your charms right now, then you can go ahead and just pause the video right here, finish making up your charms. You probably want to make about 10 or 12 of them. I made 12. And now I'm going to show you how to get them attached to your bracelet. So you want to take a jump ring, and this is kind of a 2-plier job, personally, I think. So I use my round nose pliers just to hold it steady. And then I take my jewelry pliers and twist it open. You always want to twist on a jump ring. If you try to pry it open, then it's a lot harder to squeeze shut than it is to just twist it back shut. And close to the clasp here, just go ahead and string that onto the chain. You want to take a charm and go ahead and add that on, and then twist it shut. So you've got that on there. You want to skip a few links before you get to the next one. So we got the same thing. I'm going to hold it steady with my round nose pliers, twist it open with my main pliers here, and I'm going to skip a couple of links. I'm going to skip, let's see, 1, 2, 3 links, just so that it's nicely spaced. Add my charm on here and go ahead and twist it shut. And then you can just keep doing that, adding your charms all along as you go.